AMD Ryzen 5 7600 by 3D benchmarked, faster than Ryzen 9000 CPUs in gaming but slower than 7800 by 3D, consumes around 50 watts in games. AMD's Ryzen 5 7600 by 3D CPU has now been benchmarked and showcases faster performance in gaming than the Ryzen 9000 chips. Faster than Ryzen 9600X and 9700X, the AMD Ryzen 7600 by 3D V-Cache CPU is also much more power efficient. The recently launched AMD Ryzen 5 7600 by 3D processor has been benchmarked. The processor is exclusive to a few retailers, namely Microcenter US and Mindfactory in Germany, which is AMD's usual strategy for some of its processors like the Ryzen 5600 by 3D and Ryzen 7500F. The Ryzen 7600 by 3D was tested by PC Games Hardware, a German hardware website, which has revealed the true potential of this mid-range X3D CPU. The website benchmarks the CPU alongside a plethora of AMD and Intel processors in both gaming and productivity applications. While the productivity performance isn't impressive, the gaming performance shows us that it's on par with the high-end X3D and non-X3D processors from AMD. The Ryzen 7600 by 3D is roughly on the same page as the Intel Core i5-13600K/14600K and is faster than the newly launched Ryzen 9600X and 9700X. It was benchmarked in 9 different games, including the latest titles like Baldur's Gate 3 and F1 2024, as well as many graphically intensive titles such as Cyberpunk 2077, Ghost of Tsushima, Starfield etc. In some games, the 7600 by 3D is mostly in the top 5, but on average, the processor is in the 9th position, coming just after the 13600K and 14600K. Compared to AMD processors, only the Ryzen 7 7800 by 3D and Ryzen 9 7950 by 3D processors were able to outperform the CPU, which are significantly superior in specs and pricing. As for other CPUs, the Ryzen 7600 XT does an impressive job in defeating the more expensive Ryzen 9 7900 by 3D CPU by 4% and the Zen 3 based 5800 by 3D by 7%. What's surprising is that the Zen 5 mid-range CPUs failed to outperform the 7600 by 3D. Ryzen 9600X remains a staggering 14% slower than the 7600 by 3D but costs just $20 less. The Ryzen 9700X is outperformed by a 6% margin and costs $60 more. Due to less availability of the processor, the 7600 by 3D won't be purchasable in most parts of the world. However, the $300 price tag for the 7600 by 3D isn't the best when it comes to price to performance ratio, since processors like Core i5-14600K and 13600K are delivering better gaming performance and are also significantly ahead in productivity. Moreover, the 7600 by 3D is limited in overclock capability. Nonetheless, it shows terrific power efficiency with just 48 to 55 watts of power consumption under gaming and productivity loads, also delivering the highest FPS per watt in the industry. Ryzen 7600 by 3D looks like a good 6-core/12-thread CPU for gaming-specific workloads, but it can't compete with other mid-range CPUs in productivity due to significantly reduced clock speed.